Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. The con!
All I can say is, wow.
Minnesota is so hot.
All this negativity that's in this town sucks.
It's a covenant cleanup.
The con! Everybody ready now? Drummer guy Tommy Cook over there on the drums. He's playing the cymbal. Got BBG over there on bass. Double B on lead guitar. I'll take this microphone. And here comes 9 to noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. It is a Northern Fire Talker Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, with a side of Steve's Appliances Marathon, TimberTech Set List, Kinmount Exteriors Bikes Bites, and Owl Roofing Postgame. And they're all scooping chips. To some, it may be perceived as billboards on a car radio. To others, it's life in the age of rage with a side dish reality. We all are facing the squeeze. So the aforementioned 9 to noon Tuesday partners are helping exponentially, and we aim to make them money, and money they will make. It's tried and true. Welcome to the Love Covenant, and let's get busy with 9 to noon. Double B is in that chair again today, and yesterday sent me a fascinating video prepared and executed by a learned Brit, genuinely fearful what the USA soccer team is doing schematically and potentially can be a problem of the worldly variety.
I love my country, yes I do.
I asked Double B for a little assistance for the Tuesday 9 to noon. Sends me this rock star video, and you got this learned Brit who gets soccer inside and out from like Pele to Paraguay, and talking about the USA scheme, and I was fascinated.
I love my country, yes I do. I was born in the USA, the
Red, white, and blue. Go with that Seahawk.
you're both an American, you fight with me too.
Fox.
I put my hand on my heart, pledge allegiance to you. I love my country.
Thanks for the idea. Always appreciated as the let's say host ages and gains wisdom of other things that greatly matter. So how would you describe what we witnessed? Because the learned guy from England seemed to be putting the world on notice. Like, this is not your grandfather's USA World Cup soccer team set to bow out in facile fashion. No. This is a group that executes its toil in north-south fashion and absolutely is a force with which to be reckoned. And good morning, Double B.
Good morning, PA. Yeah, it's it just goes to show that the thread, it doesn't come from you just don't get it. You know, it's more of, if you pull the thread on tactics and how teams set up, it's not just, well, sometimes it is, depending on the team. It's not just kicking the ball the entire length of the field and running after it.
May I offer
formation.
a description?
Yes.
NFL fans, think Dan Orlovsky breaking down scheme. That's what I watched yesterday.
It's the way that they play is just so organized, and the way that they use the width, but then their best players come inside and are given the freedom to run in, and they just drag and pull. And if you double one guy, there's going to be someone else running into that space. It's just the way that they play with their starting 11, who did not play against Turkey, is very, very good.
Most of the example was from the USA game against Paraguay. Now, as we'll get into momentarily, it was an upset-laden Monday in the old World Cup yesterday. So Paraguay later, but for now, for the USA, with this schematic soundness, the stifling nature of this schematic scene the learned Brit laid out to us, the World Cup's version of Dan Orlovsky breaking down a middle zone shallow cross with a pick and a block on the backside, and my man rambles for 70. Most of the example was from the USA's first game. What happens when they play teams markedly more squared away and markedly better? And good morning.
And good morning. That's the $1 million question, really. And we did see from Paraguay that they are a solid team. If they can hold up defensively, they can knock out the big boys. So I think it was a solid team. I don't know if they're playing at their best, but that's the $1 million question. If they get through Bosnia tomorrow, that will be, then we got to play, a much bigger threat in either Belgium or Senegal. Both of those teams are very good. So that's the question. But the tactics should be, and the way that they played, it didn't look like they were nervous or discombobulated or, just in hockey terms, gripping the stick too tight. It didn't feel like any of that. It felt like we know what we're doing. We have the game plan and we're going to execute it, and you're not going to be able to stop it.
Okay, so help me and us with this. When Doncaster Orlovsky, when Danbury Orlovsky
always
was breaking down the USA is north-south, and this has nothing to do with the Civil War. When it's north-south and they're avoiding players out by the boundaries where we've seen it a million times. Long kick near the boundary, near the sideline. Try to outrun somebody, get body position, set a sneaky little pick, see if you can't make a play. Okay, so that's going to happen, is what Doncaster Orlovsky said. But he said the United States scheme is predicated on this north-south attacking, where it's not happenstance. I mean, with low-scoring games like this, the bounce of the ball and, if the header is supposed to go one way and maybe it goes another way and somebody's left uncovered, stuff like that happens, and it happens a fair amount in the beautiful game. But it's the immense amount of pressure the USA is putting on teams in north-south fashion with this Sudbury scheme that just fascinated Doncaster, Danbury, Orlovsky. I mean, what are we on to here? I mean, is this like the greatest show on turf emerging in worldly fashion, Double B?
And good morning. It certainly seems like it, and it can be. The idea is that, our best player is Christian Pulisic. He's a left wing. I think he plays right wing in Italy.
What about Bougainvillea?
Balogun is very good. He's a striker, and in that video, it talked about two guys are just following him around, basically.
Pulisic was the A topic, you're right. I mean,
correct.
The Doncaster Orlovsky started with, and Pulisic's going to get it here, and he's going to make somebody miss, and he's going to get around somebody, and then take it from there.
Yeah, so the idea, typically, in an offense, if you're left wing, you're going to stay to the outside, and you're going to try to spread everything out so you open up space in the middle. Well, what Pochettino is doing is saying, why don't we bring our outside defenders? We'll run them the entire length up. They'll be the wide guys, so our more offensively skilled players can go inside and try to get space and get more shots on goal. And so that's what happens. You see Robinson go on the outside. It's called an overlapping run. So he runs past the left wing to get around him. That opens up space for Pulisic on the inside, who then can create chances like he has. It's fascinating to watch, especially. I love watching this as much as I love a Dan Orlovsky break down, a power trap, to the A gap.
Amazingly pertinent and fascinating.
Can you repeat the part of this stuff where you said all about the things?
So, what do learned soccer minds think of Morocco bouncing the Dutch last night as quite the heavy underdog? Bunch of sad Neds in the Mexican stands wondering, what happened? Where'd our team go?
I think what was more shocking in that game was the fact that Morocco dominated the game. It wasn't Morocco's just going to hang on, and they're going to try to defend in low-block terrorism and wait until penalty shootout and then beat them there. Morocco had 70% of the possession.
Wow.
The expected goals, which basically on any given day, the chances you created, how many goals did you expect to have? They had 1.3 to Netherlands 0.2. They created more chances, they had more shots, more touches, and they had the ball 70% of the time. I mean, that's at what point do you just say it's not even an upset anymore if you dominate the game from start to finish?
And actually, the Moroccans, they were not that big of an underdog, even though they were an underdog. There were sad faces on the countenances of the Neds in the stands in Monterrey, Mexico, because they were a little shocked yesterday.
Oh, Rubes! So many Rubes! Rubes! Please, no Rubes!
Paraguay bouncing Germany. Now, that was a big underdog. Clearly, the soccer world is shaken over what happened at Gillette yesterday, and good morning.
That would be the biggest one. And if you want to look at stats there, Germany had the ball 76% of the time.
Come on.
So that is the opposite, where Paraguay's hanging on for dear life and saying, we're just going to have to defend and hope to get to extra time and get to the penalty shootout, which they did. So, and it goes to show that U.S. game, I mean, sure, Paraguay could be rusty.
Thinking the same thing.
But that you put up 3 goals in the first half against this Paraguay team who just shut the door on Germany. So.
We're the only team in the world that is forcing teams to score on themselves.
Exactly.
It has happened twice, and both against the USA. Why? Because we have the world on alert.
I love my country. Yes, I do.
That's what we do in the USA.
I was born in the USA.
That's why you all want to come here. You all want to come here and complain. That's what we do. We dominate in schematic fashion, or so says Don Castor Orlovsky.
I put my hand on my heart, pledge allegiance to you. I love my country.
The German coach lamented with sadness that the Germans no longer are a first-class soccer operation. Don't kill the messenger. That's what he said.
Oh my gosh.
That can't go over well in the German version of the Age of Rage. You got the leader of the squad saying, we are not a first-class soccer operation if we can't get past the knockout round of 32. That's absolutely harsh and cannot go over well for those heading to work or coming home from work right now, negotiating the Autobahn. I mean, if the speed limit's 80, they're probably going 110 with not a care in the world. Why? Their coach said we're not a first-class operation. It's like Ich heiss L. I am L. My soccer team sucks. Ich heiss L. By the way, wonderful tout on the over in the 2.5 in the Brazil-Japan game. Your Brett Blakemore's Bits and Bets. Yeah, I worked in that industry more than half my life, so therefore it gets shine because it ain't easy. And then you get people who just don't do it because they're chicken and they're scared of being wrong. Double B not only is not scared of being wrong, he's right 83% of the time when the 1045 hits and we have Brett's Bits and Bets. He touted over 2.5 in the Brazil-Japan game yesterday. Now, you needed a stiff drink to get that 3. You needed a stiff drink sweating that 1-1 forever, but you got it. Down go the Japanese 2-1. Brett's Bits and Bets around 10:45 today. If you're looking to make a little money in the squeeze, and might help when you think about this with the bits and the bets portion of the equation hitting 83.5% of the time. It might help when you buy candy for the kids at some convenience store, and the goodies are smaller in size and higher in price.
I always love that one.
That's the squeeze. That's super duper special. Perhaps the upsets continue today. This may be followed by a, what you just said was one of the most insanely stupid things anybody's ever said, but I'm saying it anyway. Maybe the Swedes beat France at 4 on Channel 9. Upsets! Upset alert! What do you think of all that?
I like your optimism.
I don't have optimism. I just know there were upsets yesterday. Yeah. And now today's a new day. It's the age of rage. Everybody's experiencing the squeeze and weird things are happening on the pitch.
I mean, it's possible. Anything can happen.
What if Sweden scores first? What happens in soccer when the other team scores first? And copyright one of my very, 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 very best friends, Kevin Gorg, somebody I deeply love, is a 2-0 lead in the World Cup the most dangerous? Is a 2-0 lead in the World Cup? How did he say it again? In hockey?
It's the most dangerous lead in hockey.
I always love that one.
But
it's nerve-wracking.
You know what Sweden should do? Instead of going up 2-0, they should just keep it scoreless and try to keep it scoreless for as long as possible.
Right. So how do you do that? Neutral zone trap?
I guess that's the other bit of Gorg's preposterous statement.
Well, go up. I mean, you go to neutral zone trapping Mbappe and chip chair chance. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, we saw both ends of it. We saw Paraguay hang on as long as they could yesterday, and it worked out for them. And they got in the penalty shootout and won. We also saw Japan get out early and then try to hold on and shut it down against Brazil. And Brazil eventually just had too much talent and ended up breaking through and then scoring the 2 goals. So it's not foolproof, but when you see a when you see a team that's the underdog and they get out early in soccer, and I'm like massive underdog, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to try to shut down shop, and because that's how most managers play the game. Thankfully, that's not how we play the game.
Truly, how sad would and by the way, is there, if people want to, get schematic breakdowns and learn more about the analytics and the particulars with, let's call it the beautiful game, is there a pro FUTBOL, pro football focus?
I always love that one.
Or did that go out of business too? And they said, adios, everybody, in Monterey. All right. So truly, how sad would you be if Bosnia beats our country tomorrow night?
I'd be devastated.
Super duper.
Yeah, that would not be a fun
show. What time's
to do.
The game?
7:00 tomorrow.
Can it happen?
So, can they beat us? Yeah.
Really?
100% they could beat us. Now, I don't think it's likely.
Jeez, honey.
But I think it's possible. They're good enough.
What about Doncaster Orlovsky and the north-south scheme that seemingly is unstoppable in worldly fashion?
Well, if that's in full force, then yeah, we're going to win by 2-3 goals. But again, this team they didn't show up, amazingly well in this tournament, but coming into it and, knocking out Italy of even making it to the tournament, they're certainly a respectable and good team.
Mm-hmm.
We're better, though, and we should be able to beat them.
Cool. All right, man. Appreciate the video you sent me yesterday. Got us an opening seg. And welcome all. The Twins won at Houston and are low-key and AL Central winning factor. I said low-key. I don't have to be better. I said low-key. Won at Houston, though. John Morant was traded to Portland, and a rumor has it Jaylen Brown could be following him. Their backcourt out there will be John Morant and Damian Lillard. My, oh my, show am good. Kind of fresh, too. Good for Mike and Nori, their new head coach, and Finchie's former right-hand man. By the way, we have a $25 Northern Fire gift card to be given away today to somebody via the TalkBack machine, and we're going to set all that up next segment, courtesy of TimberTech's What's on Deck. Thank you, Northern Fire. Hey, anybody, listen closely. You want in? Join KFAN in this love covenant? Listen closely, please. Marketing at KFAN.com. Jot that down. Marketing at KFAN.com. And you're right to Lonnie. Let's make a play. Segment sponsoring and advertising on KFAN is an age-old W for thousands of businesses. In fact, I had a meeting in Shoreview last week with Owl Roofing, and boom! Those guys now own the 9 to noon postgame and have joined the fiber of the leader. And we realize, sure, there are options. There definitely are options. You can pay the ham sandwich fees of these podcasts and narrowcast your way to a slow burn L. Or join the broadcasting scene. Join KFAN and give yourselves a chance to win big. Marketing at KFAN.com, and please write to Lonnie. Double B produces, and I'm Paul Allen. Alec Lewis is on the radio show today. That's nothing but good news. And at 11 o'clock today, a lady named Shannon Spake. She is the sideline reporter for the Charlotte Hornets. We got some mellow steam coming our way at 11 o'clock today, and we'll get into all of that around the corner, 9 to noon style on KFAN.
It's PA.
One more question.
Sure.
Why does everybody listen to your show and no one's listening to PA?
Weekdays 9 to noon on The Fan.
Text line. Just let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard text message and data rates apply.
All right, Alec Lewis, Elite Football Mind, is here early, and he's hyper. So let's make this a truncated segment and set up some talkbacks. We'll call it Bikes Bites. Bikes Bites. This is courtesy of Kin Mount Exteriors, and thank you, Kin Mount Exteriors. Question. Is Kevin O'Connell a coach who one day will make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame? All right, so that's not the talkback, but it's a question. Northern Fire talkbacks come with a prize. You were charged with the responsibility and the endeavor of describing said prize for the talkbacks today. Assumedly, given you're a squared-away human being and all of your focus is not on the beautiful game, you came through with said request. And here they are. What is it?
The big prize?
Yeah, we got a prize at the end of the show.
Oh, of course we do.
And
I'll give you the tease.
Give it to me.
It's going to be something you can't pay for.
Hi, Alec. Thank you, Northern Fire. We have a prize package to be given away at the end of the radio show. And we're going to set this up not only for Alec Lewis, but for the Talkback machine on the Northern Fire Talkback Tuesday. And good morning. NFL coaches, listen closely. It's very important. NFL coaches not named Andy Reid, currently coaching, who will make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Oh my God. Northern Fire Talkbacks with a prize. NFL coaches right now, not named Andy Reid, who will make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here's some context in pithy fashion, because the athletic scribe is early and he's hyperactive. Context. Here are some coaches not in the Hall of Fame. Okay? Some coaches not in the Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick, denied first year of eligibility. 6-time Super Bowl champion. Second most wins and most postseason wins of any coach ever to coach. And he didn't get at least 40 of the 50 required votes to get in first crack. Bill Belichick, denied. Mike Holmgren, Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. HOF, denied. Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champion. One of the most respected.
It's absurd.
You can turn the mic. You're not on.
It's your segment.
I said you were hyper twice, and I was so.
It's
right.
your segment, but the Mike Shanahan not being in the Hall of Fame is just a travesty.
I understand, but all of this is going to be regurgitated again in about 7 or 8 minutes with you. And good morning, Dame Mizutani.
Sorry.
Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champion, one of the most respected offensive minds in the history of the league, or so says Alec Lewis. Tom Coughlin, 2-decade head coach, led the Jaguars to the playoffs in their expansion year and 2-time Super Bowl champ with the Giants.
He deserves to get in just because he had to live in Jacksonville.
And he won both games against, says somebody from Alabama.
I always love that one.
You've been to both or what? Because if you've been to both, you stack them against one another. It's not really that complicated.
Remember that playoff game at Lambeau Field where there was it was like minus 20 and Tom Coughlin's face was super red, looked like it was going to explode? I wanted to buy a horse and name it Tom Coughlin's Face.
I always love that one.
He won both games against New England as an underdog each time in the Super Bowl. Tom Coughlin, not in the Hall of Fame. He's not HOF. Context. So here's the deal. It's 9:30. Good morning. Can you get to 5 not named Andy Reid who will eventually be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they are current coaches? So here are some names to consider, and these are names that we have included, but we are not limited to. And if you don't understand what that means, ask the marketing director who fully understands marketing at KFAN.com, even though scribes don't.
I always love that one.
Can you get to 5 not named Andy Reid who eventually are going to make it to the HOF? Names to consider: Sean McVay, Nick Sirianni, John Harbaugh, Mike McDonald.
Oh, my gosh.
Old McDonald has a team. E-I-E-I-O. The problem McVay may have is if he doesn't get another one soon, Stafford can't play forever. And I've never seen Sean McVay as a lifer head coach kind of guy. He'll, if he's so inclined, Sean McVay can make Brady/Romo type money in the NFL on TV if and or when he wants it. Alas, there's more. That is the centerpiece or the A-topic talkback for today. Free iHeartRadio app, up to 30 seconds, and a prize will be delivered at some point of this radio show today. Alec Lewis from The Athletic joins 9 to noon next.
It's PA.
I can't even believe it. They stink so bad you can't even make it up.
Weekdays 9 to noon on The Fan.
You already listen. Well, now you can watch The Fan. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials and password games, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
Nordo is in Alabama.
Is he actually?
What's your home state like this time of the year?
It feels exactly like it has in Minnesota yesterday.
Like yesterday?
Where it's humid and you feel like you're in a swamp.
Right.
Yeah, it's just tough. You go outside, you're getting bit by a mosquito. I'm not really selling it, but there are some places in Alabama where you can really enjoy this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been staying here most of the time.
Right. This is Alec Lewis at Alec_Lewis via X. And we have the vast and ever improving and ever popularizing podcast known as the Alec Lewis Show.
Paul Charchian's hopping on today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy. Excellent because I like when you win, but hey, gives Paul something to do.
I always love that one.
Out there, St. George way.
He's hopping on.
I got a potential question for you with something I saw yesterday on the X machine.
Okay.
But I don't know if these fires are by where he lives. But there are raging fires in Utah right now.
Then I probably
like in that part of the country. And I didn't see if he tweeted about it or anything. And I ain't saying that towering inferno's outside of his front door.
Sure.
But I'm saying in Utah, they have some fires that cannot be contained at this moment. But obviously it's not bad enough for him to not join the ever improving Alec Lewis podcast show today. Where can people find that if they're looking for the audio version?
Well, the iHeartRadio app is the preferable option, specifically when I'm on the radio here with you.
Yeah.
But it's on YouTube and it's on Apple and Spotify. And
we have shorts.
4.5 billion people have a podcast. So I was like, I might as well just join in. No, it's over.
We don't have shorts? What's MD doing? Seriously, it's what she does.
Other people have jobs.
Is she listening?
I don't know.
10% chance.
I don't have a tracker, but I would say it's possible.
Are you kidding me? You guys started sharing location after your second date.
But I would say the shorts.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, I can't either.
Sorry.
So I'm just
I gotta
not
be
gonna
better.
But you're sharing shorts. I have to go. I got to clip the short. I got to edit the caption on the short.
Do you want to win? It's not about you. It's about those you're serving.
And guess what? My primary audience is over at theathletic.com, where I've worked for 7 years, which is crazy at this point.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah. But
the Athletic has to be coming up on like some 10-year anniversary then pretty soon, right?
Yeah, no question about it. Probably 2017.
Sweet.
Maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Do you know I was the 17th overall subscriber to The Athletic?
Yeah.
17th because it's like a stock.
And how many subscriptions have you bought since?
I gifted one, but I didn't do it the right way, so therefore I continue to pay for it, and I keep getting the emails myself. Don't forget that you gifted somebody. I'm like, what happened?
Next time you look at your credit card statement, you're going to have 72 here, 72 here.
What are you saying? This is a scam?
No, I'm just saying.
Is the Athletic a Ponzi scheme?
Absolutely not. It is. When you read Michael Russo writing about Dylan Larkin every day, I mean, the work that is poured in by some of these folks. You
don't have to sell it to me, brother. I was subscriber 7. It was like we're not in this world or in this game, and I'm sure that there's a cheating vibe to it too.
Sure.
When you hear, but there's going to be this stock that comes out in like a month and a half, and you're going to want to, save all your chips for this, and boom, the minute it comes out, get in there, it's going to be $10, and then sooner or later it goes to like 48.
Insider trading.
Insider trading is what we call it in the business. Thank you. With The Athletic, I was subscriber 17 at $3.43 a month. So as I've said before, not only the guests with like Johnny Athletic and Russo Radio and Alec Lewis and stuff like that, well, the guests are good, but we don't push The Athletic simply because we have some type of stake in it. I have no stake in The Athletic, and I'm still paying a monthly fee. It's just really, really good if you like sports as a distraction. I'm a sports snob.
Yeah.
I'm a self-proclaimed sports snob. So therefore, I'm really into these World Cup games, even though I haven't watched more than 5 minutes of soccer in the last 4 years. I'm really into these games. That's sports snobbery, recognizing this is really good if you know what you're looking for and you put a little time into it. And like The Athletic does second and none work with that. So me being subscriber 17 back in 2017, it hadn't even popped yet. It popped the day after I jumped in.
And I actually think
insider trading, though.
And when they do the 10-year anniversary, I actually do think they're inviting their first 50 subscribers up to the New York Times office.
Did I just really snort? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but actually, speaking of, John Krasinski did a Nas Reed story this morning that is it's phenomenal. So that's what I would shout out today.
Well, I have not read it yet, and I will read it later. I had Russo Radio on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
is Dylan Larkin coming or not?
I don't know.
Because if you can add a center,
like, Gary Bettman?
If you can add a center to be able to get the puck in and out of the zones, I mean, I really see destiny for this team.
Well, destiny being
somewhere that this town needs to get so that these people here receive the reward for the passion that they put in every single year.
Am I talking to Kevin O'Connell right now about the Minnesota fan base and lamenting over not having a title since 91?
You are not talking to Kevin O'Connell right now. Typically, that happens at the TCO Performance Center on Tuesdays.
That piece of Dylan Larkin neutral zone trap steam.
Can you repeat the part of this stuff where you said all about the things?
So, Russo Radio story, super meaty.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you didn't read it because you don't like hockey, even though we're in the state of hockey. I would read it simply because you guys do the same thing. Mm-hmm. He's your cohort. And the way he and Joe Smith weave together, like to get to this Zuki thing where like, well, things ain't cool with Zuki, and he's like unhappy, and he's like 100% not going to come back. Just how he put that thing together, assumingly it was him, because he, if there are two people writing a story that involves Michael Russo, well, he's only going to let Joe write 10%. So I'm assuming, that Russo crafted that, but it was just meaty. It was just good. I think all journalists should read it just to see. Not necessarily how it has to be done every single way, but he's just good at what he does.
Yeah, I mean, You
I'm
don't
really
need to,
happy that you're here.
You don't need to hear that from me. But yeah, I mean, this guy's done it at the highest level for 20 years.
I'm really happy that you're here.
No, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so per the talker and the talkback, free iHeartRadio app, Northern Fire, a prize to be given away later. If you don't understand why we, why we can be an audio billboard at times and give away prizes with Northern Fire and stuff like that, seemingly on a daily basis, ask MD. She'll explain it to
Thank you.
And we'll share that prize momentarily. So, current coaches in the NFL, not named Andy Reid.
Yeah, this is a good question.
Current coaches, well, when I thought of it last week, I was going to unfurl it last week, then they traded for LaMelo Ball, and I went pear-shaped. I think you can appreciate this, and I shared it yesterday in the opening segment, because he got traded to the Timberwolves 14 minutes before 9 to noon.
That's tough.
After I had spent, because, I'm not on the X machine a lot this time of the year. Same thing with you. We back off things. Mm-hmm. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I ain't reading a lot of NFL stuff right now because, a month and change from now, it's just going to be a tidal wave for people like you and I, more so you than me. Oof. So I stay away from it a little bit. So I had no idea that there was like LaMelo steam bouncing around. I crack open the X machine 6:30 when I get here on Thursday. I'm like, LaMelo, what? What's a Substack? Well, then I saw Johnny Athletic wrote about it. So I read a story. I'm like, damn, okay, where there's smoke, there's fire. So then I'm like, all right, I probably should start writing this out. I spent 45 minutes researching LaMelo Ball's injury history. I mean, broken ankle this, broken wrist that, questionable every day, wakes up for the injury report, and somehow he stepped on some lady's foot in the front row at a road game and broke his ankle. I was fascinated. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready to talk this out, not saying no, don't do it, but I'm obsessed with context. And I wanted to lay out, if this happens, kind of what you're getting. Then I had a Kyler Murray tie to it and things like that. Well, then right before the radio show.
Welcome back to the show.
They trade for him.
Yeah.
And I went pear-shaped because that's all I had in front of me was the negative injury stuff.
Yeah. You didn't.
So I made this thing sound I made it sound, it was a little wonky and a little dicey.
So
and
you felt like you were too negative on it.
The answer is yes, but what I laid out was factual.
Right.
So it wasn't you idiots, how can you do this?
Right.
It's 246 possible games. He played 105. I called him mercurial. Somebody deeply rooted in the Howe covenant told me mercurial's the wrong word. And I said, well, can I go with enigmatic? And they said that's more apt.
And that person is a wordsmith.
Right. Okay.
Can we hire them? How is Aaron Freeman?
It wasn't summer of free. Okay. Let him have his summer of free. Absence makes the heart grow fonder for him too. So I just didn't give both sides of the story. Well, then, of course, I had a vocal maintenance day the next day. So I didn't have a chance to give the other side of the story. So I was just like, steam was coming out of my ears this weekend. Moral dilemma runs forth. I'm writing out this Mello thing. And so then I put together some ball bullet points yesterday about his size and truly having somebody who is top whatever in the NBA, but he's really good at breaking people down off the dribble, what it's going to mean for the spot-up shooter in Anthony. And so I started to get into that. Then I started to think out the Kyler Murray thing a little bit, where these guys are kind of the same for different reasons, but they're in the same fishbowl and they're both under different rocks. They're shiny toys. They're fast. They occasionally make eye-opening plays. And then just when you're loving LaMelo, he hoists something off 1 foot from 33 and it's an air ball. And then you're like, what happened? And then at the end of a game that's close, he does the same thing. He goes in and wins and everybody's loving him. Then you got Kyler running roughshod on teams. Hitting your guy Trey McBride on a shallow cross that gets a nice block and ends up going for 30.
Good player.
And then he closes his eyes and throws a punt pass and loses the game. So they're kind of the same person, where the onus and the pressure is on them to change the narratives. And good morning.
Good morning. I told a buddy this, and I know you can't really do this, so it's not totally fair for me to say. But I do wonder, if I just gave you a blind piece of paper and you didn't know the name of the player, and I laid out what LaMelo has done, what he did last year, the impact he had on teammates, and you didn't know it was LaMelo Ball, the young kid who drove fast, whose father was in our lives for every day on TV for an entire year, who played in his own youth league, but you just saw the impact he made on the floor.
His father, LeVar, hit on a host on ESPN within the last week when this lady, I can't remember her name, was like, with LeVar. Stephen A. Smith's there too, and I can't remember the other guy. And she's like, okay, LeVar, do you mind if I change gears? Well, LeVar's like, you can change gears with me anytime you want. You should have seen the lady's face.
It's crazy. My biggest thing is my curiosity was if you just remove, and it's kind of similar with Kyler of like, if you just remove the name and the image that we all have in our minds of these guys.
I like this.
But you show me the performance, recent performance, the impact they've had in some form or fashion. I do wonder
Take it to the next step.
I do wonder how different the reaction from people would actually be. And the Melo thing is interesting to me because I would be lying profusely if I said I've watched LaMelo play a lot of basketball.
Oh, I have.
In recent years. I really haven't.
Yeah,
so
I have.
Yeah. So I'm a little speaking out of turn.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I went through these stages of like, in the hour after the news, when you're on the radio and you're trying to make something happen after they just made this deal.
Yeah, and embarrass myself.
I'm like, oh my gosh, LaMelo Ball, you're trying to improve the discipline of this team. You're trying to improve the identity. And then you're reading, you're taking in all of the narratives, and you start to see the level of impact he has made when he's healthy.
Yeah. Or you text somebody who knows about all that.
Sure.
And you don't.
Right. Yeah.
And then you make that opinion yours, and that's how this game works.
Right. Absolutely. And so it is interesting. But I do that idea. I think the narrative of these guys in our minds, LaMelo, Kyler, Sam Darnold when he got here.
Yeah.
Like the image of those people compared to the actual skill set and production, I do think is a very interesting dynamic.
I got a ticket after Canterbury Chapel last night, leaving Shakopee, going to Eden Prairie, a speeding ticket. And when the guy pulled me over, I showed him a text exchange with you.
I always love
and the
that
fine
one.
doubled.
I can't comment. I don't believe I can comment.
Yeah, I didn't get a ticket last night. Shakopee Blue, love you very much. Okay, 3-2. So, just
speaking of Shakopee.
Yeah, are you,
I want to go to this
Chris Stapleton.
I want to go to this Chris Stapleton concert, all right?
What do I look like? The leader of Live Nation?
I'm putting my pitch in right. Yeah.
What do I look like, Dave Matthews?
Yeah, Brian A. Ralt. I'm looking JJ's agent.
Okay, now hold on. Wait a second.
I'm looking for tickets to the Chris Stapleton concert.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Why are you mean mugging me right now? What the hell did I do?
I really want to go.
Great.
And it's in Shakopee at this new beautiful amphitheater.
Yeah. Okay, now look here. With respect. First and foremost, see, we're so scattered when we get together, and I just love it.
You want to ask about these Hall of Fame coaches?
No, I want to know if you're in a hurry today.
No.
Okay, good. I got some things crafted for you.
Okay.
For 2 segments per your request. It's probably going to be more than 2 segments. We might stretch it 3 today.
I just got to be home by 11.
Oh, you got that sneaky call. That's right. All right, we're going to have to make that call in your car. But first and foremost, I love that idea where you're like, we don't know the name, but this guy did this, is this, and you lay out like 3 or 4 of them and talk to Ellen about this. Talk to MD about this because she gets it and you don't.
Sure.
With respect. And that's with respect because you're not thinking about the marketing of things. You're thinking about the story, the context, the baseline of where it begins and building it up from there. The structure, the LEDE, avoiding non-essential clauses and split infinitives, putting that thing out at 2,000 words, cashing a check and calling it a day. That's the lot in life God has chosen to give you.
Thank you.
Now with MD, she's going to hear something like this and she's going to be like, how about the Mercurial Minute?
I always love that one.
And maybe it's the LaMelo Minute or the Kyler Murray Minute.
Sure.
Where you put something together like that and then I'd be like, I'd come up with that and MD would go, no, bad idea.
I always love that one.
But the marketing of what you just said, there's a bit there, specifically when you join us 3 times at the State Fair. at the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Falcon Heights and the traffic and the parking and the whole thing. And
no, that's great. I love the state fair. I'm so excited.
Well, so do I. Well, you're from Alabama. It's a bunch of fried food. What an Alabama stereotype that is, by the way.
It's fine. I'm any Alabama stereotype. I embrace
we'll find out
of them.
Well, because I have 7 of them coming up a little later that I researched this morning. So we'll see.
Of the
but
NFL
don't you like
coaches,
that market? I mean, you came up with a great idea.
Sure.
It's what you do. You're a scribe. You wouldn't get the $180 a year from The Athletic if you didn't come up with ideas like that.
I do think
and that doesn't include the bonus plan.
I do think, honestly, what people it's the same with when Rudy Gobert was acquired. There was a lot of obviously hysteria at the time. But if you just blind, this is what this guy does in affecting shots at the rim.
Yep.
And this is how he's going to train. And it's not Rudy Gobert, the guy who,
And your name is your buzzer. Paul. Stifle Tower. Rudy Gobert.
I do think there's players in all sports who make certain impacts, but the narrative of the way they've been covered, or the narrative of how their path or what has happened off the field or whatever, it overcomes the actual production or the skill set in some way. Now, all of the Melo and Kyler, the lack of durability, that is a big conversation, especially when I just watched the NBA playoffs and I watched the physicality in the playoffs.
More with Melo than Murray. It's 246 possible games. He hasn't even played close to half.
That's probably right. But I would say the physicality. Right. But I'd say the physicality of the NFL in terms of taking one hit from ex-edge rusher, it could be pretty dicey.
Okay, so for the mercurial minute, which could be the midfielder minute, because
Luka Modric, if you show me, I'm just kidding.
Now, you and I, with respect,
I got it.
We what's Luka Modric? What am I missing?
He's a Croatian midfielder who's phenomenal.
Whoa! Where did that come from?
When you say sports snob, the World Cup,
you are.
The World Cup.
I know.
I know nothing about soccer. I'm not going to lie about it.
You.
But when I start to watch, I want to know about all these players. So the Ivory Coast, they've got this left winger, Jan Diomande.
Are you kidding me with this?
I start reading, and it's. I think some people think sports.
You're next level.
Are sports writers really sadly,
most aren't.
Unbelievable to the point of hysteria of the amount of fandom for these things I don't really care about anyway.
Right, but for you, but most get a little crotchety and
I get crotchety.
Turn the nose up on the game's too slow and all this flopping and how come the ball's in the stands and the clock's still running? It's just stupid. And why don't you widen the net so each game can be 8-7? Yeah, takes like that are just dumb. Oh, wow. All right, mercurial minute.
I always love that one.
Let's call it the midfielder minute. And you are going against Brett. Your name is your buzzer.
Okay.
And I'm doing this off the top of my head.
This should be great.
Ready? So your name is your buzzer. It's a midfielder minute.
Okay.
With maybe 3 clues.
And how is Clint Dempsey?
Okay. Currently playing.
Okay.
In the knockout round of 32. Has scored a fair amount in the World Cup. Wears number 20. Last name begins with a B. And rhymes with Kukanmelia.
I have no idea.
Brett.
Go ahead.
You're talking about, I don't know how to pronounce it for you, but it's Balogun.
Oh, Balogun. I thought it was Bougainvillea. Number 20 for the USA. If you're a sports snob, holy cow, you got to know who this guy is.
No, the striker. I know him.
Yeah.
I didn't know his number, though.
Okay, he's not a midfielder?
He's a striker, but
striker. Yeah, exactly right.
It's all good.
That's why we need MD.
Yeah.
So the games and the marketing at KFAN.com are executed the right way, and people scoop chips in the squeeze. Ask her. She understands. You don't.
I think the future Hall of Fame head coaches in the NFL currently.
It's tough, isn't it?
I think McVay.
Well, why don't you plug in the copyright Dan Cole, the common man, plug in the team covering computer. I think it's Kevin O'Connell. He absolutely will win 2 Super Bowls, and Brian Flores will follow him after he goes into TV and get into the HOF. Copyright Dan Cole, the common man.
No, I wouldn't go there yet.
Think about it and let's pause.
Okay.
Alec Lewis, The Athletic, theathletic.com, at Alec_Lewis via Twitter. It's a Brett Blakemore production, and I'm Paul Allen. This is 9 to noon on KFAN.
It's PA.
Bounces off the backboard. Big shot by Jared Spurgeon.
Weekdays